Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Just ahead of Ian Furness, a reminder that our title sponsor here at Donnie and Dolly, our friends, our good friends at Able Auctions. You okay? We're getting a lot of play in Delaney's OKTR and Langley inbox on pants.
Yep.
G in Richmond, that room must smell like 100 old dogs. For people just tuning in, if you want to show the shot, Ryan, of the discarded pants, Canucks pants, with the stripe that they've also discarded. No stripes on the pants this year, and there are the striped pants.
I got a feeling if you had the opportunity to go in that room and jump on that pile, you would. You love these pants so much.
What are you
talk about these pants like it's just unbelievable. It's your greatest.
Oh, I thought you meant like generally people.
Would jump on that pile. You
like
love
one of those
pants.
foam pits.
Yeah,
those kids play. Places.
You know what's the Chuck E. Cheese's or something like that? Or is it Chuck? Is this still
Crash Crawlies?
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
As we bring in Ian Furness from KJR Sports Radio. How are you, sir? We got Ian? Yeah. Okay. We haven't got Ian. There he is.
Oh, there he is.
Hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm listening about pants. I'm hearing about pants. Well, I think they have yet to win a game without those pants, right?
Yes. Well, they've gotten rid of their pant stripe. They have new pants.
Yeah.
They've gotten rid of the pant stripe, and our source inside Rogers Arena has showed us what they've done with those pants. They basically put them in a closet. So if the Canucks losing ways continue, Ian, and you could share this with your listeners down there.
I will.
Look for the pants, the stripe on the pants to come back. Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw those away. I wouldn't throw those away right now. I mean, was it 0-4, 0-3-1? Is that what we are?
Right? 1 point in 4 games. It's NHL record setting.
Well, Spencer Martin's going to get you a point no matter what. You play him 82 games, you give you 82 points at least, right?
Well, that's right. He has yet to play a game with the Canucks without getting a point. So there's a positive, and he did play well last night. Didn't have a whole lot of help. Hey, Ian, as we move to Seattle here, what did the Seahawks know about Russell Wilson when they made that deal?
Pretty much everything that you're hearing, to be honest with you. It's no secret inside the organization, inside the building, what was going on. A lot of us that cover the team had heard rumblings. And, it's funny now, there's a lot of people coming out and saying, well, why wasn't this reported or why wasn't this talked about? I think both of you guys know well enough. Anybody who's been around sports or covered a team and a beat, there's things that are reportable. There's things that that aren't reportable. There's things that, frankly, aren't even news. I mean, Russell being a jerk and being a pompous, I'm not sure if that's a news story. I'm not sure if that makes it, above the fold in the sports section. We had talked about it on our radio show. You have a little more leeway in these formats, like we're talking right now. And but I think they knew what he was about. And for those who want to say that he didn't change over the last few years, that's wrong. I mean, I interviewed him probably as much as anybody one-on-one, and I just know the demeanor and the attitude and just how he was. It changed. He changed. There's no doubt about it. And when you add into a possibility of diminishing skill set, pretty hard to understand how the Broncos, signed him to that deal, although they had given up so much draft capital, they pretty much had to.
Yeah. Is Geno Smith the better quarterback than Russell Wilson right now?
Today he is. I don't know if that'll be the case by the end of the season. I don't know if that'll be the case even next year, Don, to be honest with you. But today he is. And it's wild to think that. I mean, what would the odds have been of that, right? But it's a fascinating topic, to be honest with you, because there was so much with Russell and so much behind the scenes and turning into kind of a celebrity diva quarterback that he did. At the same time, watching a guy like Geno Smith, who's had a few shots in the NFL, has never been able to latch on as a true number one starter. And now here we are, 6 games into the season. One guy is just circling the drain, and the other guy is on the way to being comeback player of the year in the NFL. Again, there's a long way to go. There's 11 games left. So I'm not ready to anoint Geno as the quarterback for this franchise for the next 2 or 3 years yet. But if I was to say I need a quarterback for this weekend, who would I take? It would be Geno, and 100 times out of 100.
Seahawks got themselves, and they are at L.A. to play the Chargers on Sunday, by the way. Got themselves a pair of pretty good rookies. One is Kenneth Walker, the running back number 9 in your lucky number program. But I want you to talk about, if you don't mind, you remember that.
I love the lucky number program. Oh, my gosh. I have visions of walking to the old Mercer Arena in Seattle where the WHL first started. And you'd walk down the stairs and this old guy, lucky number pro. Oh, I love that. Oh,
I miss that too, boy.
What a reference. Yeah.
Obviously, so do I. Hey, but we mentioned the running back, Kenneth Walker III, but also number 27 in your lucky number program.
Yes.
Interceptions in 4 straight games. What do the Seahawks have? A defensive back, Tariq Woolen.
Oh, he's something else. Drafted in the 5th round, one spot different than Richard Sherman. The comparisons are obvious that people wanted to make, although they're just different. The only similarity is they're both really tall. They're both, Tariq's a legit 6'5". I think Sherman's about 6'4". Both very long, both former wide receivers in college. But this guy's just athletically at a different level than Sherman ever was. He ran like a 4.2 something at the combine, a legit 4.2. Everyone runs a 4.2, 4.3 right now. This is legit. He's that fast. He's just super athletic, just raw at the position. Sherm knew what the play was for the other team before they snapped the ball. Tariq's got a lot to learn in that regard, but his athletic ability just makes up for it. 4 straight games with interceptions, a couple of fumble recoveries in there as well. He's turned into a guy that they're not throwing at anymore. No one's throwing at him right now, and so that's what made Sherman great was he would take away half a field. Like quarterbacks would not throw at him in his prime. So then all of a sudden you eliminate half a field, and as Russell used to tell us, it's 53 1/3 yards wide, right? So you take that away, and that's a huge advantage. And Woolen's starting to do that, and he's a great kid, good young man, just humble and happy to be here. It's just refreshing. It's honestly the team as a whole is refreshing. Mm-hmm. So much youth. They're just 3-3. There's a lot of folks. I look around. It's like, wow, they haven't won anything yet. But I think what we have seen is John Schneider and Pete Carroll, who many had left for, being morons and dipsticks and weren't able to figure out a draft anymore and how to build a team. Well, this draft class and what they did in the offseason kind of feels a lot like what they did in 2011, 2012.
Ian, let's go over to the Kraken. They have started the year 1-2-1, but one thing that's intrigued me is the development of 18-year-old Shane Wright. 6 minutes in his debut.
Rick.
Hold it.
Started.
It gets worse. 2 healthy scratches, followed by gets to play a game again, and he gets 6 minutes. What are you doing here? And, we're going through this with Jack Rathbone, although Rathbone's not a 4th overall pick. But tell us what's going on with Shane Wright in Seattle.
I don't know. I'll tell you right now. I know you guys got I listened to the show yesterday and before the loss to Columbus. And, is coaching the problem. And, you're talking to Craig Button and all these guys about, is Boudreau on his way out? I think a hot seat is Dave Haxtell. I don't get what they're doing. I don't understand what they're doing. And I think I've been around the junior game for so long, going back to the early 90s. And I think, and you guys have watched enough of that level too, when a kid coming out of junior is ready to play. It doesn't take a scout. It doesn't take a personnel director. Craig Button is the best at what he does, but it doesn't take Craig Button to look and say, that guy can play at this level and he's ready to go. Shane Wright's that guy. He's been that guy. I don't understand. They are getting their doors blown off the other night. Yeah, it's 4-1 after 2. They gave up another early. You guys have problems holding on to leads, multi-goal leads. This team can't get an early lead. They've given up a goal in the first few minutes of 3 of the 4 games. But it's 4-1 after 2 against a good team that, frankly, you're not coming back on. And he gets 6 minutes and 50 seconds of ice time. It makes zero sense. If they send him back this particular season, I will just throw my hands up. I don't know what to even say at that point because you're not a Stanley Cup contender. You're a better hockey team than a year ago. No doubt about that. Better hockey team than a year ago. But, if you want to develop a guy at this level, you've got to give him ice time. And maybe it's not in a 2-1 game late, but a 4-1, then 5-1 game in the third period. You're telling me he gets 6 minutes and 50 seconds. He's playing on the 4th line. Let him play with some guys. Alex Wenberg is a 0. He can kill penalties, and that's it. Why is he playing up high? I don't get it. But we live in a market. There's not going to be criticism.
Yeah.
All right. There just isn't. And I'm not the most popular guy at CPA because I'll say stuff like this because I think it's true. And I see the fans that are knowledgeable. They're on social media and they are saying the same thing. It's like, what are we doing here? And it makes no sense. I want to see the kid play.
Yeah.
Give him some minutes. And frankly, guys, if he can't, well, then you've got 9 games. Well, now you've got he's played 3, I think, right? 2 or 3 games. Then you've got the 4 or 5 games to figure out if you want to send him back down.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to make any sense either.
Mariners, general consensus on their season.
Right. Feels like there's a little left on the table, but they lost to probably a team that's going to win the World Series. If not, I mean, they should. They're the best team left in the playoffs right now. It was both, euphoric and also catastrophic at the same time. Losing a game 1-0 to, in 18 innings, playing 2 full games and not being able to push a run across is maddening. But I think at the end of the day, you have to understand it was a heck of a season, a heck of a run, and we saw baseball come alive here again in Seattle. And I think, there's a time and a place to talk off season. It's probably not now, but they do have some holes. There's no doubt. Their pitching staff is rock solid. All those guys are under contract, both in the bullpen and the starting rotation. You bring those guys back probably. Maybe you move Marco in the offseason because he's your number 5 guy. Maybe Flex is number 6. You move him too. But, I think what I thought was just fantastic. And we joke about it all the time, right, with the hooligan Canadians coming down when Toronto comes to town and all that fun stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Well, now there is a true rivalry. Like, it's not just Canada, U.S., and, the 2 expansions. No, they played in the playoffs. Seattle whacked them in 2 straight.
Yes.
And it just, I think it adds to the rivalry. And then you add Houston into the mix. Sports are more fun. We'd all agree, right? With a rivalry. They are.
Definitely.
And I think but it's only a good rivalry if it's competitive, and Seattle hasn't been competitive. Well, now with Houston they are, and now with Toronto they are, and I can't wait for those teams to come to town next year. Now, the best is yet to come with this team. Julio, superstar. I mean, just a grab your attention, captivating, has the it factor. Superstar is Julio. Some good young players. We saw Kelnick flash a little bit, although we had a tough last game. But yeah, I think it's a bright future here for the Mariners. I'm not sure if I've ever said those words out loud before, but it's a bright future for the Mariners right now. So, which is a good thing.
You said you're not the most popular guy at Climate Pledge, but you are number 1 in our Lucky Number program.
Yeah.
Wow, that would usually worn by a Gary Smith or Kirk McLean, I believe. Correct?
Wow,
if I'm not mistaken.
Well, as a matter of fact, there are some people who feel number 1 for Kirk McLean should be up in the rafters.
Before other people,
Well, no, dual ceremony.
Yeah,
dual ceremony.
I think Seattle's has or will do that with Ichiro and Randy Johnson, right? So you can do that with 51.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
By the way, I nailed, I think, all but one of the birthdays yesterday in my car, speaking out loud. People probably thought what was wrong with me as I'm driving home, and I'm nailing them left, right, and sideways. It's phenomenal.
You got time to be a co-host on the show by any chance?
Whatever you need, whatever you need. I don't know, Donnie. It's really bad, Donnie. Really bad right now, Donnie. I mean, they got, Noah Juleson. Just first round pick, but just not a good guy. I don't know what's going on.
You'll be okay. All right, Ian. Thank you.
I'll see you, boys.
Yeah, Ian Furness, KJR Sports Radio.